Okay, now we've got the text properly updated. I will get into that replay and head into the game. So since we're between games, I'll go through my typical spiel about the Chobo Team League again. It's a team-based environment for players anywhere from bronze to diamond. In fact, the players in this next match will be silver. We have a format somewhat similar to SC2 Pro League, where all game aims is the maps they happen on and the matchups are set beforehand. And they're played anytime throughout the week whenever players have time, so I'm casting all of these from replays. Can't often get a live cast of games, although I did actually do one game live this week with my teammate Heat's victory over Randall Thor. Anyway, so we're into the game, so I better switch to the proper scene so you guys can see it proper. And it's a best of 9, actually. These matches are best of 9s. There's a... apparently Mavishnu has been watching the fun of Twitch Plays Pokemon. All hail Helix, says our Red Terran, playing for Team Unrivaled as he starts out. And Visonkai is also apparently a disciple of our Lord Helix, playing as a Yellow Terran up in the north location. Here on Heavy Rain. I'm not a heavy watcher player of Twitch Plays Pokemon, but I do occasionally check in to see how those guys are doing. It's a pretty amusing thing they're doing over there. Although I must say myself, I actually prefer Twitch Plays Street Fighter. You can actually do surprisingly well since they have it set up so you actually can type in the full move rather than the individual inputs. Anyway, everything looking pretty normal out of our Terran players at the start. Nobody's sending out an early SCV for some crazy cheese. Main difference being that Mavishnu is taking his gas a little bit earlier, whereas Visonkai is taking his barracks a little earlier, so we'll see what comes of that. Yeah, I have a fancy pass-through battery on my vape. It's very useful because I can literally use it while it charges and therefore never have to worry about whether it's charged when I'm hanging out at home. I am a very severe advocate of vaping in general. If you are a smoker and you want to save your lungs, start vaping, stop smoking. It's the way to continue to not suffer from having lost that nicotine and generally have at least a lot less health problems over it. It's really saved my lungs, and I highly promote vaping for anyone who at least already smokes. If you don't smoke at all, don't start any of it, but if you do smoke, vape instead. It's better in every way. Anyway, we see that first Reaper on the way for Mavishnu, and Visonkai just getting a few Marines for early defense. Mavishnu not able to get in with the SCV sent across to scout, finding a full wall. Mavishnu not having built anything of a wall, just building everything deep into his base. You don't always see a wall, except for in TVZ, you always see a wall, but in the other matchups you don't see Terrans always build a wall, and Mavishnu has chosen not to. Cigars ain't bad, man. Cigars, it's a whole lot better than smoking and not even that much worse than vaping. Cigars are pretty awesome. I actually still do the occasional cigar myself other than vaping. So we got that first Reaper coming into the base for Mavishnu, getting a pretty good scout and might get an SCV or 3. SCVs are not yet being pulled, so yep, he gets one SCV as the Marines come over to try to push him out of the base. Now, Reaper can kite Marines if it wants to, but rather than trying to kite the Marines, the Reaper just jumps down and heals up the little bit of damage he took. Yes, there is a Twitch Play Street Fighter 2. Look it up, man. It's actually really awesome. You can actually find it under Pokemon Red Blue. They usually switch between playing Street Fighter 2 HD and Street Fighter Alpha 3, from what I've seen. And anyway, it's pretty awesome. So what you missed is mostly a Reaper coming into Visonkai's base, Ace getting one SCV kill, and both players apparently going Cloaked Banshee. And me talking about Twitch Play Street Fighter 2. Oh, it's alright if you didn't know about it. I'm just trying to inform the people. Looks like Mahavishnu's sending a Hellion across. Not sure what he thinks that'll get done in a full wall, and a Hellion, you know, is not really going to get anything done unless the second bases come out, and it has not yet for either player. Neither player choosing to go up to 2 bases. And both players with nearly identical timing on Cloaked Banshees. However, Mahavishnu starting a Raven as his second thing out of that Tech Lab Starport, whereas Visonkai is starting a second Banshee. Now, both players are sending their Banshees along. They may well run into each other, which is kind of hilarious because they can't fire at each other. Yep, they do. They actually, yeah, almost run over each other. Hi, you got a Banshee? I got a Banshee too. That's always hilarious. In the meantime, Mahavishnu is starting his second base, which that SCV is probably going to get killed by that Banshee because there's nothing to defend against it. I mean, a Siege Tank's not going to defend against a Banshee. You see a Siege Tank sieging up, and the Banshee may get that too, as well as getting the SCV building this base. Actually sending SCVs down to repair the Siege Tank. Not sure if that's the best of choice. Your Marines are up here, dude! So that Raven ensuring that the Banshee is going to get seen and setting down a on an auto turret to chase it off, but I suspect the Banshee's just going to come over and go over this way. Yeah, he's going to get another Marine. That Banshee really doing work for Visonkai, whereas he has also pushed back Mahavishnu's Banshee with little to no damage taken. However, he doesn't have any scans left, so it's now free to snipe Marine after Marine. Mahavishnu having taken out the Banshee in his base. Or at least pushed it back. Yeah, I think he just pushed it back. Yeah, it's still there. There it is, in fact, having been repaired up. Or that might be the second one. In any case, this Banshee continues to chase this army across the field, having about halfway killed that Siege Tank. And now with the scan, the Marines might be able to finish off this Banshee, but not quite as it looks like the Banshee's going to get that one of the SCVs and one of the and the Siege Tanks. So this push is pretty much shut down before it happened, as this Banshee finally runs out of cloak, but both players' Banshees doing work, man. In the meantime, that Banshee's actually back into the base for Visonkai, but Mahavishnu takes it out with a few Marines. Loses one in the process, but all in all, that went a little bit better for Mahavishnu than it did for Visonkai, especially as he got out of second base. And in fact, Visonkai just GG's out at that point.